Hey everyone, today on People Now, stories that make us smile. A 100-year-old man walking to raise money for a cause. We have details.
Oh no, why did Ariel Winters accidentally throw away the tip of her thumb? It's a weird story, we'll tell you.
50 Cent spills all kinds of tea in his new book, including why he intentionally launched a feud with Oprah Winfrey.
Plus,
the way I was on your set was like so nervous.
Daniel, Radcliffe, and Ellie Kemper give us all we need to know about the new interactive Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt special on Netflix.
Get ready, Jack Osbourne and Katrina Weidman reveal their spookiest encounter on the new season of Portals to Hell.
All that and more today on People Now. Let's go.
Hey, happy Thursday, everyone. Welcome to People Now. Great to see you. Almost to the weekend. We're making it. I'm Jeremy Parsons here in New York. Hey, Andrea, what's up?
Hey, I'm good. I'm here in Wisconsin. Exciting show today. I got to talk to Ellie Kemper and Daniel Radcliffe. Harry Potter. We love him. We had him in studio one time, and he was nice. He's so great. But yeah, that's a really exciting interview. Also, we have Jack Osbourne, Katrina Weidman, their paranormal show Portals to Hell, which is really spooky.
No, it's getting kind of creepy. Those are a lot of fun interviews. That and so much more on the way today. But we start with this. Elon Musk is making sure everyone knows the correct explanation behind his son's unique name. So his girlfriend Grimes broke down the meaning behind the name on Tuesday for fans on Twitter. It appears, though, that she made a typo. She explained that the A12 part of their son's name was inspired by the precursor to SR-17, their favorite aircraft.
But Musk was quick to correct her, tweeting in a reply, SR-71. But yes, well, Grimes wasn't too impressed with his response, firing back that her typos should be forgiven, as she is, quote, barely alive while recovering from surgery. Musk went on to soften his tone in the next reply, writing, "You are a powerful fairy emoji, queen emoji."
That should do it. As for the rest of the name, Grimes explained that the X represents the unknown variable, while AE or I is the singer's elven spelling of AI. The A also represents Grimes' favorite song, Archangel, and the 12 has extra meaning because it stands for the Chinese zodiac sign of the rat. And in case you didn't know, 2020 is in fact the year of the rat.
And now you know. The couple welcomed their first child together on Tuesday, and while the non-traditional name is technically legal, a family law attorney recently told People that it likely won't be accepted by the state of California. The attorney explains that in California, you can only use the 26 characters of the English language in your baby's name, not including apostrophes. So the state is likely to reject the Musk baby's birth certificate if it's submitted as is.
Modern Family star Ariel Winters had a thumbs down experience while trying to make her favorite Greek dish at home.
Ariel, who is currently self-isolating with her boyfriend Luke Benward, tells Access she had chopped 4 onions and that all went fine until it came to chopping a tomato. And she explains, quote, "So I went to chop a peeled tomato and sliced the top part of my thumb off. Just saying that hurts me, Jeremy." Oh.
And things didn't get much better from there. She says that she began hyperventilating. She was in shock. She explains, quote, "I apparently sliced an artery or something like that. So I bled so much. And so we had to go to the hospital."
And then her boyfriend brought the tip of her finger with them to the emergency room. Ariel says that while being treated at the hospital, the nurse gave her the piece of her thumb in a plastic bag, but she didn't realize her thumb was in there, so she accidentally threw it away and had to go get it. I don't really understand. Why do you need it? Well, it's your thumb. You might want to keep it.
It gets worse and worse. In the end, she says that while it hurt, the hospital took great care of her, and that even though she was bleeding a lot, she realized there are so many people in the hospital for so much worse, and she is perfectly fine.
Have you ever sliced off part of your finger, Jeremy?
No, I mean, I've like done like a little, I mean, but you give me a paper cut and I'm ready to go to the emergency room because I can't handle it. So that is just unbearable to me to think about what she did.
Yeah, well, I'm glad she's okay. Everyone, if you're using sharp knives at home, please be careful.
Baltimore Ravens player Earl Thomas is responding to reports that his wife Nina Thomas held him at gunpoint after he was allegedly caught cheating, saying, quote, "We try to live the best life we possibly can, but sometimes it don't go as planned." He asked fans to respect his family's privacy.
On Wednesday, TMZ was the first to report the alleged altercation he had with his wife last month. According to courtroom documents obtained by TMZ, police say Nina discovered Earl was with other women via his Snapchat account.
According to the report, Nina, along with 2 friends, confronted Earl at an Airbnb. And according to TMZ, she allegedly took her husband's pistol to, quote, scare him, claiming that she took out the magazine and thought the gun could not fire.
However, police say the gun had a round loaded in the chamber. The report also reveals that there is cell phone video showing Nina pointing the gun at Earl's head.
Nina was charged with burglary of a habitation with the intent to commit aggravated assault with a deadly weapon, family violence. According to the report, she was released on bond and Earl was not arrested.
On Wednesday night, Earl posted a video on Instagram responding to the alleged incident. Watch this.
It's really not anybody's business. It pisses me off that it got out, but it's the world we live in today. But instead of talking about us, just keep us in y'all prayers. And stuff like this happens.
Yeah, in that video, he also revealed that he's back in contact with his wife and kids.
Nina's lawyer told TMZ in a statement that she unequivocally and categorically denies these allegations, and they look forward to their day in court where they can clear her good name.
And if you suspect domestic violence, call the National Domestic Violence Hotline at the number below. You can also go to thehotline.org. It's free and it's available 24/7.
All right, today's story to make you smile comes from a 100-year-old man who is making a difference one step at a time.
That's right. Dobril Chowdhury has raised more than $97,000 by walking laps in his community garden while fasting for Ramadan.
According to the 100-year-old's Just Giving page, his goal is to donate the money to the Ramadan Family Commitments COVID-19 Crisis Initiative, which is run by the British Bangladeshi TV channel, Channel S.
Each day since April 26th, Chowdhury has been walking from one part of his garden to another, about 262 feet, 100 times. Chowdhury's son told BBC London that his father started slow, but has been increasing his number of laps. He says, quote, "The problem we have is that we have to try and stop him because he wants to carry on."
Chowdhury's efforts appear to be inspired by Captain Tom Moore, a 100-year-old World War II veteran who recently raised more than $40 million by walking in his backyard.
Wow. Chowdhury, who is also an accomplished poet and enjoys attending local book clubs and poetry associations, plans to continue his mission through Ramadan, which ends on May 23rd. The money will be distributed among the RFC's approximately 26 partner charities that raise funds for various domestic and international causes.
Kurtis 50 Cent Jackson, whose new book Hustle Harder, Hustle Smarter is out now, is opening up in this week's issue of People about his famous feuds, his love life, and so much more. Jackson reveals that he would deliberately become enemies with someone as an effective strategy for promoting his own brand. In
fact, he used this tactic with Oprah Winfrey. He says that Oprah used to talk about everything that was wrong with hip hop, so he assumed that he would never get to go on her show. He tells People, "I said, if we can't be friends because she's not going to invite me to the show, let me make it clear I don't like her so my audience assumes I'm not there because I don't want to be," which actually makes sense as a strategy.
Yeah, their beef dates back as far as 2006, but the two were finally able to make amends years later after Jackson ran into Oprah's best friend Gayle King at a fundraiser in New York. King then told Oprah that she needed to meet Jackson, so in 2012, Jackson was invited to be on Oprah's show alongside his grandmother. He was able to explain to them how he was getting into beefs for strategy.
Jackson also opens up about how he and his girlfriend, Jamira Haynes, also known as Cuban Link, have adopted collage making as a tool to better their relationship. He says they send each other pictures of things that they want in life for 30 days and use those pictures to create vision boards, which is really incredible. He explains it sparked conversations that we probably wouldn't have gotten to randomly, and it was easier for us to express it because it's so early.
The couple first stepped out together in August of 2019 at the season 6 premiere of Power in New York City. Jackson describes Haynes as cool and says she has her own ideas and her own direction. For more on 50 Cent's life now, check out the latest issue of People on Newsstands Friday.
Celebrity chef Sam Talbot is shattering the stigma of living with type 1 diabetes, revealing to People in this week's issue that having diabetes doesn't define him. Type 1 diabetes is an autoimmune disease that affects the body's ability to produce insulin. About 1.25 million people in the United States are affected by it. Talbot was diagnosed at 12 years old, and he remembers that his teen years were spent with juice boxes always within reach, and that his mother would follow him around always ready with his meter and his finger pricker to monitor it. But managing his health and diet ultimately helped him discover a love of cooking, which led to his career as a restaurateur and celebrity chef. With his growing fame, Talbot tried to bring more attention to the disease, but realized he just wasn't raising the level of awareness that's needed. So he reached out to Nick Jonas, who was diagnosed with type 1 diabetes at 13 years old, to create a nonprofit foundation together, all aimed to inspire other diabetics to connect, to learn more about their disease, and to live fuller, more active lives. They launched Beyond Type 1 in 2015, and now, with over 2 million community members, Beyond Type 1 is the largest diabetes organization in the world. So cool what they've been able to do. And recent breakthroughs in technology are providing some relief for diabetics. Talbot, for example, now uses a small device embedded in his arm to regularly measure his glucose levels. It sends readings to his phone and it delivers the insulin that his body needs. Talbot tells us it's completely changed his life.
In this week's issue of People, Kelly Rowland is opening up about what she knows now about friendship, motherhood, marriage, and how she keeps things hot in the bedroom. Rowland reveals that she and her husband of 6 years, Tim Weatherspoon, know how to keep things exciting. She says, quote, "As far as sex is concerned, if I have to play dress up and do role play, honey, if I need to be Alicia tonight and give you a surprise in the middle of the night or something, then that needs to happen." That was her quote.
Nice. All right. Rowland tells us that they spice things up because when they first met each other, they had fun, and she wants to keep it that way. She says, "I think if you hold that close to you, it can always show itself in your relationship."
Sexual liberation is an important theme for the Grammy winner, who sings about a sexy morning rendezvous in her latest single, Coffee. Rowland says that the song is really about owning your sexuality, and she further explains, saying, "You should already know how sexy and great you are without someone having to tell you."
As for the music video, it has a powerful message of its own. Rowland says the visuals represent the different tones, textures, and colors of beauty that there are, and how unified we are as women, as she says. And she goes on to say, "I'm just one person, but I'm even better with other women next to me."
And when Rowland isn't busy empowering women or homeschooling her son in their Los Angeles home, she's caring for her marriage. She and her husband go to therapy to keep a space of communication open. She says, "I have a husband who supports me and is there for me and loves me, and I'm the same for him. I met my best friend." For more on what Kelly Rowland knows now, check out the latest issue of People, available Friday.
All right, guys, stay with us. We're bigger fans of cleaning and disinfecting now than we've ever been, and we've got tips to make your cleaning items at home last longer. Plus, Jack Osbourne and paranormal investigator Katrina Weidman are back. They are visiting more notorious haunted locations. It's the second season of Portals to Hell. We're catching up with them to get all the wild details.
Frederick!
Hello, my love. There is so much to be done before our wedding, like practicing for our honeymoon.
Oh boy, I do like kissing you.
And I you.
But planning is also fun.
Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt is back for a new interactive Netflix special called Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt, Kimmy versus the Reverend. It's so funny. I'm joined by two of the stars now. We have Ellie Kemper and Daniel Radcliffe. Thank you so much for joining me. How are you both doing?
Good, yeah, thanks for having us.
Good, yes, thank you very much. Before we get into the special, I do want to know what's one new hobby you've picked up while in isolation. Ellie, let's start with you.
Okay, a hobby is attempting to cook. I've so far not been successful I created 2 great dishes. One of them last night. It was basically like a gourmet macaroni and cheese, but I try very hard. So it's a nice distraction from everything that's going on.
Daniel, what about you?
We also had actually a very successful cooking night last night, which was only the second times we've, and I can claim more of a share of helping than I normally can because I did a lot of sous chef work. I can't be trusted with anything actually, essential. But yeah, we did a curry last night, which was very good. But generally the big hobby that has become just something that we're obsessed with and passing a lot of time with is Lego, just like massive Lego sets, because there's very meditative. And it's sort of, you're just following, it hasn't got the stress of a puzzle because there's no guesswork, you're just following instructions. It's great.
It's hard too, right? That's good.
It's immensely satisfying. Yeah, I don't know. There's something, as Erin put it the other day, there's something about making lots of tiny little things into something very solid and impressive that's very fun.
Amazing. I'm sure you're a Lego master, Daniel. Let's talk about this special. So you're both widely known. You're from cult classics. Ellie from The Office, and Kimmy Schmidt has this huge fan base. Daniel, Harry Potter, and other amazing projects. What were your reactions when you found out you'd be working together? Were either of you secret super fans of the other? Let's start with you, Daniel.
I mean, yeah, I've been a fan of, I was a huge fan of Ellie's on The Office and of Kimmy Schmidt as well. And so, yeah, and obviously of Tina's. And everyone in the show was a very sort of intimidatingly talented group of people to sort of come into very, very late. but yeah, I sort of was so immensely flattered to be asked. I was like sort of overwhelmed a little bit and very, just like delighted to be able to come in and play with everyone on the sort of the last, the final moments of Kimmy's story.
Yeah, Ellie, did you take him under your wing?
Oh yes, I really had to show him the ropes. I'm kidding. I just want to tell you the excitement and the anticipation on set before you arrived. Everyone, it was like palpable. Everyone was so thrilled that you agreed to do this, and everyone. And like, I did notice like a lot of people brought their families that day. I was like, guys, we're on to you. But I was a massive fan of Daniel, of course, not only from Harry Potter, but from all the comedy that you've done. And it was just like, it was such a thrill. Thank you again.
Oh no, God, it was like, yeah, it was a real kind of like, it was a real like dream job for me. It was like in New York over the summer, and I just got to come in and play this. But it was so, yeah, it was like it was a perfect job.
Yeah, and Daniel, you're no stranger to comedies at all, but you're playing Prince Frederick, a British prince. I mean, having grown up in the UK, being familiar with the royals, did you bring any of that element into the character?
I think I don't want to like cast aspersions on the actual royal family by saying that they influenced this like hilariously stupid character that I play. But yeah, I mean, I think as somebody who grew up with the idea of a monarchy, and as much as I don't have anything against any of them sort of personally, I find that the sort of institution of the monarchy to be like quite absurd and sort of a very rich ground for comedy. So yeah, I think I was definitely very amenable to playing sort of 12th in line or whatever he is to the throne.
All right, we don't have a ton of time left, but in honor of the special, we're going to play a quick round of who is most likely to between the two of you. So let's start with you, Ellie. Who is most likely to crack jokes in between scenes, you or Daniel?
Me, maybe because me. I don't know. Not funny jokes, but just something to talk about. Yeah.
Daniel, who's most likely to bust out a dance move on set for no reason, you or Ellie?
I think just by default, probably Ellie, because I don't know how likely you are to do that, Ellie, but I put the likeliness of me doing it as at an absolute 0. So I feel like you must win that one.
I feel like you're yes, yeah. You have more grace than that. Yeah.
I don't know. Dancing on set, I hate. Just in generally.
Ellie, who's most likely to pull out their camera for a cast selfie, you or Daniel?
I think I am, right? Sorry, everything's been me so far. I feel like that requires a certain amount of vanity that you don't have.
Well, I also just like, I feel like the way I was on your set was like so nervous at first, particularly for being there, that I was like not going to make a joke or do a dance or take a picture or anything in between. So you saw like the most like, I'm just happy to be here version of me, probably.
Right.
All right, last one. Daniel, who's most likely to throw the best Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt cast party?
Oh, I'm going to say you again, Ellie, because you know everyone better and would have a better idea of what they would like in a party. And, I'm playing Scrabble and doing Legos. I don't think
that's true. Actually, you just revealed to us what you've been doing. Yes.
Yeah.
Sort of a Lego man. Between the two of us, I don't think either would throw a party, perhaps, but maybe I would get a cake. I'm bad at organizing, though. I don't know.
I feel like Carol Kane would throw a very good party.
She would throw a great. Yes. Yeah. Let's add a third person.
Yeah.
Okay, Carol Kane takes it. Thank you both for joining me. You're both amazing. This is so funny. Everyone, make sure you check out the special on Netflix.
All right, guys, a lot of us have been using cleaning and disinfecting products now more than ever before. But what is the difference between cleaning and disinfecting? Well, cleaning removes dust, dirt, and grime, but disinfectants actually kill germs and bacteria.
Better Homes and Gardens home editor Amy Panos is showing us options for disinfectants that you may already have at home. Take a look.
Have you ever wondered, what am I supposed to do if I run out of disinfectant spray? Well, don't panic. You probably have some of these items lying around your house that you can use as a disinfectant. And bonus, they're probably going to be cheaper than the disinfectant that you buy at the store. But it's important to know what each of these things does and what they don't do. So that's what we're going to talk about. Your first option for a DIY disinfectant is rubbing alcohol. You probably have this in your medicine cabinet or first aid kit at home. You want to make sure that you use at least 70% strength rubbing alcohol. This is 99%, so I would dilute this with water and put it in a spray bottle. And of course, every time that you're removing a cleaner or a disinfectant from its original packaging and putting it in a spray bottle, you want to make sure that you label it so everybody knows what is in this thing and to take care. Another thing to remember about alcohol is you don't want to use this to clean and disinfect any painted surface or any stained surface. So no furniture, no floors, and always use rubbing alcohol in a very well ventilated area. And remember, it's flammable, so keep it away from a heat source or a flame. Option number 2 for a DIY disinfectant is bleach. The CDC says that bleach diluted with water is quite effective at killing germs, so that is good news. What you want to do is take 1/3 of a cup of bleach and mix it with a gallon of water. You can just use an old milk gallon, that works just fine, and put this in a spray bottle and then use it to clean. But a couple of important precautions when you're using bleach. You notice I have donned protective gear. You want to wear gloves because bleach can burn your skin. So you want to wear gloves both when you're mixing the bleach and when you're cleaning with it. And then after you're done cleaning with and disinfecting with the bleach, you want to either wash your hands with the gloves on or just throw the gloves away. But more importantly, never, ever, ever mix bleach with ammonia because that can create a toxic gas. So never do that. You have to be careful with bleach. DIY disinfectant option number 3 is hydrogen peroxide, which you probably also have in your medicine cabinet or first aid kit. It's typically sold in a 3% solution, which you can use right out of the bottle, or if you want to dilute it, you can mix 1 part hydrogen peroxide with 5 parts of water. Now, when you use hydrogen peroxide, it's important to make sure you leave it on the surface for a good long time so that it can disinfect. So you want to leave it there actually for at least a minute before you wipe it off. Now, hydrogen peroxide isn't necessarily approved for killing coronavirus, but it does do a good job on rhinovirus, which is the common cold. And the last option for a DIY disinfectant is vinegar. Everybody has vinegar. In fact, my mother-in-law, who used to be a school custodian, swore by vinegar for cleaning floors. But does it disinfect? Turns out, not so much. In tests, vinegar did not do as well as a regular disinfectant at killing germs. So you can use vinegar, but think of it as a cleaner, and you want to follow up with a disinfecting step.
Amy explains that you shouldn't dilute your cleaners. It could make them less effective. And when using cleaning products, be sure to read the label. Some cleaners are actually multitaskers.
My next couple strategies are all about letting your cleaners multitask. First, I want you to ignore the name. Just because this is a bathroom cleaner doesn't mean that the bathroom is the only place you can use it. I could use this in my kitchen, on the countertops, or on the sink. Make sure you can understand everything a cleaner can do for you. For example, this surface cleaner for a kitchen also can function as a fabric spot cleaner, a carpet cleaner, all kinds of things. So make sure you read the label and know everything a certain cleaner can do for you. So strategy number 1, focus on only the high traffic, high touch areas in your house. Things like doorknobs, countertops, handles, that kind of thing. And also a really good idea to have everybody who comes in your house take their shoes off and right away go wash their hands. Okay, strategy number 2 is to spray the surface that you're trying to clean, not the cloth. If you spray the cloth, you'll probably use a lot more cleaner than you need, and that's wasteful and you'll run out. And also spraying the surface sets you up for strategy 3, and that is essentially take your time. Most of us, right, try to spray the surface, then we want to wipe it off right away as fast as we can and move on. But actually you shouldn't do that. You need to check the label and see how long that cleaner needs to sit on the surface to achieve its maximum effectiveness. So chill out, take your time, give your cleaner time to work, and then wipe it off.
Wow, I'll be paying more attention to those labels. For more cleaning tips, check out Better Homes and Gardens website at bhg.com. Now we move on to this. Watch.
We're going to give you an opportunity to speak with us through one of our devices. Tell us who you are. Tell us why you're still here. Did someone die in this church?
It got really cold in here.
So is this where you are?
Hell
no.
Ooh, I just got the shivers.
Travel Channel's Portals to Hell is back for season 2, and it's scary as ever. Paranormal investigators Jack Osbourne and Katrina Weidman join us to tell us what's in store for season 2. Thank you so much for joining us. How are you guys doing?
Oh, I'm good.
Yeah, I mean, I at home, you know, doing what I can. So yeah, it's weird. I never know how to answer that question.
Yeah, no, it's a weird time. You guys are both staying very busy though during shutdown. Jack, we saw you gave fans a little Dance with the Stars flashback on Instagram. You and Cheryl Burke, your partner, you did an Insta Live together. So how'd it go? How often do you stay in touch?
Oh, I speak to Cheryl all the time. Like, we became such good friends doing Dancing with the Stars, and you know, it was one of those instant bond. And it was like this trio back then of like me, Cheryl, and Leah Remini. We all kind of palled around, so we're all three of us are still pretty tight.
Can I mark my calendar for more Insta Live events?
I don't know. I mean, I've been doing the odd one here and there. I mean, Katrina and I probably should do one soon for the new season. But yeah, I don't know. I just, you know, the problem is with all the Insta Live events, everyone is doing it, and it's like,
yeah.
I'm just like, all right, so it just goes to prove the level of narcissism in entertainment. No one can take 2 months off and 3 months off and just chill.
Jack, fans have been following along with obviously your family always, but especially your father after this Parkinson's diagnosis. I saw you saying that you're not going to let a disease that was started by bats take your dad down. I love that response. Talk to me some about how he's doing now.
He's doing good. I mean, he's like taking, obviously for good reason, quarantine very seriously. The house is fully locked down. I mean, I haven't been over there, and I don't even know the last time I was there. It was probably sometime in March. That's all you can really do at this point. I think he's pretty bored.
Well, thanks for the update on that. We wish you guys.
Yeah, it's great to hear he's doing well. Let's talk about the show. Season 2, very exciting. So for people who haven't seen the show yet, why is now the perfect time to binge and catch up, and what can they expect from it?
If you guys missed our first season, you know, the Portals to Hell is all about Jack and I going to the biggest, baddest, most haunted locations that you can find on Earth and seeing, you know, can we document any of this stuff? What experiences do we have going there? And, you know, it's interesting because as you start to get into all things spooky, you'll hear the word, you'll hear the word portals come up a lot. So it kind of sparked this interest of, well, why is that word used in certain locations, but not all locations? And why do some locations have these very negative experiences happening to people, like being scratched or pushed or, you know, whatever that might be, versus kind of the quintessential haunted house in everybody's neighborhood where it has like the little girl ghost.
By the way, can I just say that I like the shorthand that you developed? Just a throwaway, yeah, just a little girl ghost that everyone has.
Yeah.
Typical, not at all weird, nothing to be about. What's your favorite thing about doing the show, Jack? What do you think?
You know, for me, I love traveling the country. You know, it's bittersweet, but for the most part, I love to kind of go to these random corners that you normally wouldn't go. Like, I often joke that Portals to Hell isn't actually a ghost show. It's a show where we find the most random towns in America and spend a week there doing something. But yeah, it's great. It's always fun to just explore these little tiny towns and go to these amazing locations with so much history connected to them. It's, you know, it's definitely a privilege for sure.
It's an addicting show. You can get your whole family involved. Last week we saw there was a watch party with the Osbournes.
Strange. It's like this thing just keeps, it's like a reminder. It's like, hey, something's here.
Oh yeah, there's a dog. Sorry.
No, you gotta get this dog out of here.
It's Violet.
Ow! Elvis!
You're frightening him. Stop it.
I'm trying to frighten him. To frighten him. Now
So it's nice to see nothing's changed at home.
So Jack, we heard this was the first time they actually saw your show. So what did they think of it?
I think you know, they kind of came away from it being like, oh, that was fun. You know, I was slightly offended. I was like, wait, you seriously have never seen this show? And they're like, no. So it's nice to know that my parents aren't full-blown stage parents. But, you know, it was, you know, and if they ever do anything, we have to be like front row and waiting for it to come out. So I was slightly offended.
Yeah, did you feel any extra pressure watching it with your parents, just hoping they'll like it?
I just, you know, I know my parents are very, they're skeptics. And, you know, when you work in the kind of paranormal investigation field, like, you don't want to, you know, piss off your viewers by saying like, oh, that's BS, that's BS. And my parents have a tendency to kind of get a little rowdy. So I was nervous that they were just going to start tearing it apart. And I'm like, please don't do that. Like, come on.
Yeah, that's funny. Katrina, in your family, are they skeptics? Have they seen the show? What's the reaction?
Yeah, both. So my dad is very much the science science man in the family. So, you know, I've had discussions with my dad about it where he's very much in the middle of, he's like, look, I think so much of this is explainable, but I know other people have had experiences they can't explain. He's had one, maybe about, 20 years ago that he couldn't explain. And I think that might have been the first time where he ever sort of was like, okay, maybe there's something to this. My mom's side of the family, though, they've always had their experiences. So it was interesting when I was growing up, it was very much, I got both sides of it where it's okay to believe that, but also, you know, don't full on drink the Kool-Aid type of thing, you know, so.
Just dip the toe in.
Yeah, dip the toe in a little bit, yeah.
Explain it.
Yeah.
Well, we saw a clip from the next episode about Thomas House. So what can you tease about that? Because it seems very, very scary. Jack, let's start with you.
You know, Thomas House is a really interesting location because of, for me, what excited me was there was a cult that lived there at one point before it became Thomas House, like bed and breakfast. And so for me, that instantly, I'm like, oh, well, what's going on here? The location itself is, you know, it's a decently sized property, but when you go in there, it's like part antique shop, part kind of motel bed and breakfast. So there's just these artifacts and like trinkets everywhere. And so it's really like almost overloading at times because you just be in a room and there's like an antique doll looking at you and like a grandfather clock and just all this stuff. And it can really play with you, if you will.
I will tell you that, yeah, a little porcelain or old doll is far more scary to me than almost anything. Even just like a normal, like little girls have normal dolls. And I'm like, I would never sleep in the room with them. I can't.
This sounds like a challenge to me. I don't know.
Yeah. I'm not interested in whatsoever.
Was there a fun moment or interesting story that you can share from shooting the season that didn't make air, Katrina?
So Jack has a funny little game he likes to play with all our episode where he gives it porn names.
Yep.
So, like,
oh, nice.
So like every episode has like if it was a porno, what would it be called? So we play that game a lot, and there's been some interesting answers along the way.
Wait, what's the Thomas House name?
Did we come up with one for Thomas House?
I think we never settled on it, but one of them was Thomas's House of Pain.
Oh yeah.
BDSM kind of porn.
Fits in the very specific lane.
Yeah.
So you mentioned earlier
that definitely doesn't make it to the final.
No,
final.
That should be your Insta story conversation.
Yeah.
By the way.
Well, thank you both for joining us. This is a lot of fun. And everyone, don't forget to catch Portals to Hell Thursdays at 10 p.m. Eastern on the Travel Channel.
All right, coming up tomorrow, Dylan McDermott will join us. He's talking all things Hollywood on Netflix. We are loving the series.
Plus, Shawn Johnson and her husband Andrew East are sharing the inspiration behind their YouTube series where they put famous couples' love to the test. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe and healthy. And also, happy birthday to our editor, Megan. We love you. Happy birthday.
Have a great day, guys.